So we're going to start this third lesson to Chapter 9 by looking at a couple of questions from the previous lesson's homework. So question 12, I'm going to work out this term here first. Now I chose to work out the units from Pascal's triangle rather than doing the C thing, the aice0, aice1, aice2 that we learned in lesson 2. And you can see in blue there the coefficients from Pascal's triangle. Notice I got my first term to the highest power and then I decreased the power until I got down to 0. And I took my second term, started with 0, and then increased the power until I got to 8. Now 1 to any power is just 1, so those terms just disappear. The negative ones, if it's to an even exponent, it becomes positive, and if it's to a negative exponent like this, then it stays negative, giving us this as our answer. Now when we come to work out the second one, it looks like we've got to do a lot of work again to do this. But notice this is the exact same thing as this, except negative x has been replaced by positive x. So if I was to replace all the negative x's by positive x here, that would actually give me the expansion. Now what that actually does is, it means that every term is going to be positive. So if I have positive x to the power of 1, that's going to give me positive 8x. So I don't need to rework this whole question, I can just use this, but any term that's negative, I can write as positive. So that definitely makes our life a lot easier. Now the question says that we have to add the two things together, so if I line them up like this, then you can see 1 plus 1 is 2, but notice the middle terms here, negative 8 plus positive 8 is 0. So as I come to add these terms together, 28 plus 28 is 56, negative 56 plus 56 cancels, so I only have certain powers here, namely the even powers. Now if this question had said subtract, I would have had a similar answer. 1 take away 1 cancels, negative 8 take away 8 is negative 16, 28 take away 28 is 0, so actually the first, third and the fifth terms, or the odd terms specifically, would disappear for that. So a very common type of question, but they can only ask you to do this if these two things are identical, except for one being a positive and one being a negative. Now actually with hindsight, it would have actually made sense to work this one out first, because I know all the terms are actually positive, which is easier. And then when I come to write the second one out, I can do this thing here, but I can just make sure alternate signs are negative. So negative, 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 and so on. So keep an eye out for that question when you're doing your ACE questions.